on behalf of myself, Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright, Doug Baldwin, and Seahawks players, Equality and Justice for All Action Fund, our fall grantees. For this round of grants, we are focusing on the following areas: homelessness, criminal justice, and bail reform and education. We are donating between $25,000 to $50,000 to 8 organizations for a total of $225,000. In the area of homelessness, the recipients are Cocoon House, Fair Start, and Mary's Place. In the area of criminal justice and bail reform, the recipients are Northwest Community Bail Fund, Creative Justice, Public Defenders Association, and Community Justice Project. And finally, in the area of education, the recipient is Mo 100. We appreciate all the work these organizations are doing to address these issues and are honored to support their work. We'd like to thank all of those who have continued to donate to the Players Fund and the Seattle Foundation for their partnership in our efforts. Now I'll take all your questions.
Duane, you got here after that idea had kind of gotten started. Just how much was that a good fit for you to kind of get involved, and how much do you like kind of the way that the Players Fund together?
It's a great fit. And, I was just kind of taken back, by how involved everyone was in the community when I got here. And it really shows, guys aren't just talking about it. Everyone's, putting things into action, putting money behind it, and I think as players in our position, we kind of are obligated, I feel like, to help the community. And like I said, everyone's pretty passionate about it in these different areas, homelessness, criminal justice, and education. It's things that can really, really affect our future, and so for me to be a part of it and for us to be a part of it, it's a great fit.
Duane, was this something that was always in your mind and then the fruition came here, or did it start here in terms of homelessness and juvenile justice?
In my mind, this, like I said, I got here, and it's just something that the team was really passionate about. These areas are something that, everyone discussed, and these organizations in particular were just brought to us as places that we should look more into. And so it's, like I said, it's 3 areas that are very important to society. So it's just something that players were passionate about, and that's what we went with.
I mean, before you came here, was it any thought of helping out or giving to social justice issues before you came to?
Oh, for sure. I think I've been kind of on record just talking about my thoughts on criminal justice and social justice in general, and to be a part of an organization that supports and backs its players the way that Seattle Seahawks does. It was definitely awesome for me to be a part of, because that's kind of just right in line with who I am and what I'm about.
What was the process of coming up and deciding what these organizations to recognize?
It was just something that, the Seahawks organization handpicked, just things that came across us and they kind of broke down everything that these organizations did, and those are the grantees that we chose.
Duane, how excited are you about this trip coming up and playing in London?
Pretty excited. Never been I've been there for 24 hours, but I've never really spent a lot of time in London. I've talked to some guys that have been over there before. Obviously something that's just different, a different atmosphere. The fans there are very excited, so we're looking forward to putting out a good product and bringing them an exciting game. Besides that, just looking back to trying to get back on the winning side of things, to come up short last week, we're definitely trying to hurry up and play as quickly as possible so we can turn that around.
What's the story behind your 24 hours in London?
I went there for actually a medical procedure, just something that doctors out there helped me out with. So it was in and out, and it's a pretty taxing trip, but it's worth it.
You played in Mexico City with the Texans,
I
right?
did.
What was it like playing outside of the States, and what's kind of the fan atmosphere there like? I imagine it's kind of like less team specific and more you're getting kind of a spectrum.
Yeah, well, in Mexico City, it was a lot of our fans there as well, because it was us versus the Raiders. So it was both had a pretty big Latino fan base, and a lot of people traveled. It was like a 2.5-hour flight. I think here it's a pretty longer flight. I'm sure the Seahawks fans will travel, but for the most part, it's gonna be a lot of London-based people, and just a neutral playing ground. So you won't really have an advantage one way or the other. Just people excited to be there. So I'm excited to be in Wembley Stadium, all the history that goes along there playing there. So looking forward to it.
You mentioned you were in London for like 24 hours. Why was that?
Medical procedure. Yeah.
What have you, the way the line is kind of, the running game the last few weeks and things like that, what have you sort of seen as what's been the key to kind of the way it's evolved from week one to what you guys did last week?
I think we've just created an identity. At first we were all kind of trying to just improve as individual players, trying to mesh and create that continuity and that chemistry. And as we've gotten comfortable and played with more confidence, you can just see the evolution there, and I think we've all gotten better as individual players, and as a group, this is the best, we've been. We're very confident. We communicate well to the point where we don't have to communicate, which is just where you want to be as a line, where you don't have to over-communicate. Everybody kind of knows what each other's going to do. We're all on the same page. We're physical. Everyone's playing with a great amount of physicality and aggression. And we know what we can do. We know we've done it over the course of a few weeks now. We know that can be our identity. That's what we can be about, no matter who we line up against. So it's a great feeling, and it's a lot of fun to be a part of.
What kind of impact has DJ Fluker's presence brought to the offensive line?
Huge impact. Fluke is he's a massive human being, first of all, and just the passion that he plays with. You don't see it that often. The fun that he has and the demeanor that he has, it's needed not just for our offensive line, but for our locker room in general. To have a guy like that, every day he comes with a certain level of energy and just passion for the game. And he's happy to be a part of this. He's happy to be out there. And when he's out there, he makes his presence felt. And I think you saw that on a few plays, just to point out a few, especially on the run we had where he went against, one of the best players in the league and dominated. And that's kind of he can do that over and over again. So I'm glad to have him, and we're glad to have him.
How many times do you think you guys have shown that block on Sue during meetings so far?
At least 10 times. And it never gets old. Never gets old. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. And that's not easy. I got a lot of respect for Sue. You don't see that happen often. But Fluke is, I don't know what he's tipping the scales at, but, he makes a lot of people look small out there. And like I said, he plays with a great amount of aggression. I love it.
Is that the touchdown? Mike Davis'
Yeah.
touchdown?
Yeah, it was a great one.
What is sort of the feeling this week? I mean, obviously you wanted to win that game, but you also did a lot of good things in that game. And I mean, did you look more at the positives of what happened, or the fact that it's a loss and all that? Or
I mean, you want to win every game, especially that one. You playing a divisional opponent, you want to win. But we feel like we're turning the corner. I don't think anyone expected us to be in that game going into it. We did. We expected to win, and it came down to just a couple of penalties. The last drive that knocked us out of field goal range. You get us right there, and the game is ours. So we love to win that game, but in saying that, we know what we're capable of. That's the best that the league has to offer right there. With the Rams, and we competed our tails off. So we have a lot of football left, and we know the direction we're headed in, and we know we can end, when it's all said and done.
Why do you think the play-action passing game was so effective against the Rams?
Because we ran the ball. When we're able to run the ball, defense have to respect it. And, they load the box up. DBs get aggressive. They get relaxed. And that's what happens. That's the beauty of having a great running game. Play actions, bootlegs, even dropbacks. Everything, the defense is kind of thrown off balance and have to second guess what you're going to do. They're not able to pin their ears back, fly upfield off the ball, and it gets everything going for us.
When you said you guys have an identity, what is the identity? Finishers, punishers, what is that identity?
Yeah, we just play with we're a very physical team. We're an aggressive team. We're going to run the ball. We feel like we can run the ball every week, and we're going to make our presence felt every week. Teams are going to feel us. They're going to respect us. That's where we are.
You saw how last year when you got over here, how tough you guys had a time running the football a year ago. The difference between what you guys were last year to this year, how big of a change has that been, and what you guys are able to do now, the impact you see of it?
It's a huge difference, and I think it's a lot of factors that can contribute to that. I think each player, the guys that were here and the guys that weren't here are all a year better. and a year older, and we're all playing with a lot of confidence. I think, like I said, as an O-line, you have to have chemistry. Coming in halfway through the year, I was just trying to find my way, continue to improve as a player, but also fit into the room, get to know everyone. You go through a whole off season of working together. You build that camaraderie, you build that chemistry, and it all comes down to confidence as well. I think when you play with confidence, you get to really maximize all your potential. And I think every five guys on the line, including George Fant when he comes in as an extra tight end, and even the guys that may have to back up, everyone is confident in their abilities. And also Coach Solari has done a tremendous job. I can't not add him because he's been very instrumental in our improvement.
Here, but I'm sure you've had a chance, and I think you guys played each other a couple times, to see Marshawn Lynch up close and what he does. How unique a runner is he?
Man, Marshawn Lynch is one of my favorite people in the world, and I don't know him that well. From afar, I just respected him as a player and as a person just a lot. And I don't think there's anyone in history that duplicates the kind of running style that he has. It's a joy to watch when you're not going against it. You know what I mean? He makes guys pay, and the play is never over with him. I saw a couple plays this year where, the refs blew the whistle. They thought his forward progress had stopped, but he was ready to break out for another 20 or 30 yards. And it's truly remarkable. And he's one of the oldest running backs in the league, still running that way. It's amazing.
Anything else, guys?
Thank you.
All right, appreciate it.